Ready to go? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2024 Western Canadian Powerlifting Championships. Day 3, Chris Arnold, Jeff Butt.
Good morning, everybody.
So our youth this morning, we've got Ada Knoppers, squatting 25.5 kilos.
And Ada's Lewis's daughter, and Lewis is certainly a great Canadian powerlifter.
Good looking lift by Ada.
The white lights.
Over on our para powerlifting bench this morning, we've got Stacy Tetz as our first lifter, starting off at 66 kilos. Para powerlifting, in case you aren't familiar with it, has a number of different rules from our IPF type powerlifting rules with the execution of the bench press. And hopefully Jeff and I will be able to give you guys some insight as we go through it.
Yeah, I think they're set up. It's allowed 2 minutes for them to get set up on the bench, and they can use straps, keep their hips down, and they can go in increments less than 2.5 kilos.
Yeah, 1 kilo increments. And then over on platform 2, we've got Kaylee Fair at the squat.
Looks like a good deep squat for Kaylee. 3 white lights for Kaylee.
Right on.
Stacy's looking to lock out her bench.
And what do we have for Stacy on?
3 red lights.
So we have the blue card, which is in the down sequence. So for para powerlifting, there are 4 cards for the execution of the lift, whereas in powerlifting we just have the 3. So technically it's turquoise, but for this meet it'll be a green, which is the body position sequence. Blue is the down sequence. Orange is the stop sequence, and purple is the press sequence. So each one of those have a number of attributes underneath to be able to help the lifter, coach, as well as the audience understand the execution if there are any faults in the lift.
And on the youth side here, we have Riz Fowler, Ryan Fowler's boy, and Rhea Fowler's nephew.
Good looking pause almost by Reese.
Reese making sure it's no doubt.
Yeah.
Much like his dad. Ryan misses few lifts in his lifting career. I remember one time he had gone something like 11 meets in a row and went 9 for 9.
Nice. We got Scott Glass on the para side on platform 1. Scott's got 110 kilos on the bar, 242 pounds. Nice controlled bench.
Looks good.
Look how nice he held it on his, and we've got a good lift. So there is no press command in para powerlifting. So the athlete is responsible to bring the bar to a static position before they press it out.
And I believe Scott had someone calling from the side, helping him out with his press command just to make sure he had it right.
Right on. Callum is over on platform 2, 110 kilos. Boy, Callum made that look pretty smooth.
Really good. Certainly no challenges with depth for the youth, which is good. Good to start teaching them early.
Yeah, absolutely. Might have something to do with the ability to move at that depth.
Yeah, I know it doesn't happen for me that easily.
No, me either, Jeff. Me either.
Also, as well, we're probably going to get some breaks in between the lifting today because of the numbers. With para, we have 2, and I think they're given a 5-minute break in between.
Right on. So they're loading the squat for, I hope I get this close. Is it Adaya?
Adaya, that's how I would say it.
We'll go with that for the time being. 28.5 kilos. So just maybe to talk a little bit more on the para side of things. So like I was saying, that they don't have a press command. The other interesting difference from our current IPF bench rules is that they have to press the bar out equally Like obviously you can't have any downward movement, but the bar has to be pressed out equally and locked out at the top. So whereas for our the IPF bench rules, you can have an angled, if you will, where one elbow tends to possibly drag behind the other. As long as there's no downward movement, it can still be a good lift.
Exactly, and in essence, likely making it much harder. However, the athletes, I assume, would train that particular aspect. If they had a little bit of indifference in the left and right side, they probably make up for that.
Absolutely. The other interesting thing is, and I may have missed it when I did a quick review of the rules, but I did not see where you have to have the arms locked out straight in para, whereas for the IPF, we have to have the elbows locked out straight. So there's probably some crossing over, because that used to be our old rules. You didn't have to lock out straight if there was, let's say you had a physical impediment to locking the elbow straight.
Yeah, you used to have to show the referees that your elbows didn't block out, and they wouldn't be happy if you got into the deadlift and all of a sudden your arm was straight. I've seen that happen before, which is one of the reasons I think it got changed more at the IPF level.
Right.
There's a couple of well-known benchers that seem to never really lock the weight out, and they come out in deadlift and they'd be perfectly straight, and the IPF said, we got to do something about that.
Yeah, it's the evolution of rules. I mean, and even like looking at like yesterday's competition in the 3 lift, there were a number of the elbow depth calls yesterday that certainly gave us good exhibition of the new rules in practice.
Yeah, yes, I was commentating the other day, and I was talking about a particular aspect of that, and it happened right in front of us just as I was mentioning it, so it was really good timing.
So Adaya with 28.5 kilos in the squat for her second attempt. Good looking lift there. 3 whites. And Stacy's getting in place on the on platform 1. She's taking 66 kilos again. She missed her opener.
Fun fact, athletes are able to compete in multiple age categories if they fall into younger or older.
Let's get a close look at this one. I think it was a little up and down on the bar on her last attempt.
I think you're right, Jeff.
It looks like the coaches can possibly lift off to the
Yeah.
athletes as well, so that's a difference in the rules.
Bar is loaded.
I work with Special Olympic athletes as well, and I know that's a rule in Special Olympics. The coach can lift.
Correct.
Off.
See, I see a bit of an uneven lockout,
Yep.
so we'll see. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
two red lights.
Exactly. So we've got that
Haley just made
purple.
her lift on the U side.
Yep.
So now she has missed her first 2.
Yep.
She'll have to come out and make her 3rd, stay in the meet.
I'm sure that wasn't her plan.
60.5 kilograms on deck is Caitlin. Shoulder. Please load the bar to 160.
Yeah, as a para athlete, you don't have the opportunity to have that leg drive that a lot of people, me, myself included, would have in a bench press.
Bar
Yeah.
is loaded on platform 1 for Scott Glass.
But I do believe a lot of people do Larson press now, and I think that comes from a para athlete where people lift with their legs out straight or up on the bench.
Which is a good training tool, right? Just from a strength and tightness in the upper body for the execution of the lift.
Yeah, I don't know many high power or highly regarded powerlifters don't use Larson press in their
Yep.
training.
Yeah. So Scott's taking 116 kilos for his second attempt. And Reese is
Fowler.
60.5 kilos in the squat.
And you'll notice with the youth too, they have a different bar. So they have some, you can use a 10 kilo and a 15 kilo bar, depending on the athlete. So you'll see them switch out the bar here. It's just with the athletes, sometimes they have smaller hands and things like that. And the smaller bar circumference, the easier it is for them to hold on.
Good looking bench press by Scott. 3 white lights.
think they'll have that 5-minute break set up here.
Yeah,
As soon as he puts in
they're
the
only
let's
showing
see.
one, but we'll.
Yeah, they may be timing.
Exactly, probably just off on the timers table. Callum's getting ready to take 120 kilos for his second attempt in the squat.
Bar is loaded. Platform 2 for Kalen Machar. Let's give him a hand for his national record attempt here in the U3 Classic 66 kilogram division.
That's a big squat. It's
Yeah.
you know, up close to that 264. You know, he'll be up near 300 pounds before much longer.
Agreed.
It's a great squat for a kid that's 10 or 11 years old.
Good looking squat too by Callum. 3 white lights, no question on the depth with any of these guys.
Yeah. When I say 10 or 11, he could be in a 12, 13 age group. So
Yeah. So we probably have a little break on the youth side. 2.5 minutes on our platform 1. And it looks like just under 2 minutes on the platform 2. So.
And also, too, if you notice, the para bench is a little smaller at top, which would be the regular width of a normal bench, as far as I could tell. And then an extension below that's roughly twice as wide. And that's again allowing the athletes to be strapped to the bench. Tracy, I can see her in the background there now.
Another interesting side note is that with our officials on Platform 1 for the para powerlifting event, all 3 are certified to some degree with respect to the progression in the certification in para powerlifting. So we've got some folks sitting in the chairs refereeing our event that are familiar and say as certified, as well as being able to referee the athletes.
Yeah, I have heard some referees say that it's a little bit difficult to mesh the two, but you know, it's great to see these guys come out and they learn the rules for both, and you know, can equally, I guess, ref to the fair standards of that particular event.
Absolutely, and say supporting just powerlifting in general, the sport across the board.
So we're down to under a minute now for Stacy.
Yeah, and what do we have on the other side? Looks like a handful of seconds over there. 8 seconds on platform 2.
Yeah, and seems like they're not loading the bar until that time passes.
Yeah, which would be correct procedure.
Yes. Yeah, looks like they're
Okay, please set the bar to 30.5 kilos.
So Adaya, again, I apologize if I'm not saying your name right. 30.5 kilos. Her opener was 25.5. Her second was 28.5. So for her third, she's taking some nice controlled progression here. Jeff, do you know off the top the actual weight of the youth bar?
It can be 10 or 15
That's
kilos,
what I was
depending
wondering.
on the, could be the age group.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, it looks like that's the 10 kilo by adding up everything.
Perfect.
It's on there now. I'm guessing that's the 10 kilo.
That makes complete sense. Yeah, just adding up the weights that are on the bar itself. Stacy's getting in position for her third attempt.
Nadia's with a smile on her face. A little fight, but
Yep.
looks like she did well with that.
Nice squat, 3 for 3 for Adaya.
Now Stacy will need this.
Yep, Stacy's going to need this for to stay in the meet. Staying at 66 kilos, 145.5 pounds. Let's go, Stacy. Oh, that looked a lot better now. Hopefully there was adequate.
There
we
She
go.
made it. Good, she stays alive.
Right on. Good looking press by Stacy.
Yeah, that was fast.
A lot more controlled.
Sometimes, too, this might be her first regional event, and some nerves sometimes can get there. Let's see.
Ooh, come on, Kaylee. Oh. Looks like Kaylee lost a little bit of position in the bottom of that squat. She can come back and get that on her third.
We'll be loading the bar on platform 1 to the flat glass. Scott is out of Saskatchewan. Local lift.
Well, that may have been her third.
That was her third.
Multi-sport, multi-discipline athlete.
Got Reese coming up now with looks like 65 kilos on the bar.
Bar is loaded for Scott Glass, 120 kilograms. After Scott finishes his attempt, we'll be taking a 5-minute break to switch racks before we begin our
Scott taking 120 kilos on his third attempt in the bench press. And I believe we have Reese Fowler on the squat for his third attempt at 65 kilos.
Director here, along with his family members, the Stins and the Fowlers.
Good looking
Nice and
squat.
easy.
Yeah.
That is a good lift for Reese Fowler on platform 2.
It's great to see the youth in the sport.
Looks like a nice bench by Scott as well. So I think Scott went 3 for 3 as far as all white lights across the board for his 3 attempts.
And now I assume they'll have to change out the bench.
Yeah.
We'll be setting the clock for a 5-minute break on platform 1 in order to switch up for the Met XT competition rack. Begin our quick bench only session on platform 1.
So yeah, as following our para powerlifters, we have the equipped bench press event. So we'll have some more bench press carrying on platform 1.
Callum is taking 130 kilograms.
This is a good squat for.
Colin Bacharach.
Yeah. This is a. Oh yeah.
Good work, buddy. He come up with it.
Good call third though for weight wise.
Exactly.
Oh. What do we have? Is that
Yellow.
yellows? Must have been some execution. Maybe missed a rack command. It's something we can't hear on the live feed real well.
Yeah, everything looked fine, and the depth certainly looked good.
Yeah, I say it must have been a technicality. Maybe squatted before he got the squat command, or racked before he got the rack command.
Yeah, because I didn't see it. Could have been like foot movement or something. There was none of that I could see.
No, me either. So yeah, one of the finer regulations. It looks like we are changing out the bar as well here.
It's a little bit longer than the standard 10-minute break to warm up compared to the bench press.
Yeah, and if people have been watching all week long, they would have noticed that we do 10-minute breaks generally between squat, bench and deadlift. When you have a group that's following itself, there's a 20-minute break.
So and then we've got a 3, almost 4 minute. It was going to be a 5-minute break over on platform 1 as they're setting up the bench press. We're now into about 3 minutes and change. Welcome back, everybody. Got our bench press only on platform 1. Janine Garland just taking the bar at this point.
Yeah, and this is equip bench, but it looks like she's maybe she's suffered some kind of an injury, just looking to get on the board.
I bet you she's positioning herself, going put on the shirt now. Maybe you see
Yeah.
that happen on occasion, just to, like you said, to get in the meet.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're the only person in the weight class, you still end up winning that weight class, so it's a value to you.
Absolutely, strategy.
Yeah, and I know that the World Bench Press is in Texas this year, and a lot of people are trying to make sure they got the qualification for that event.
Makes sense. Next up is Natalie Hasiak with a 50-kilo bench press. Natalie's a Masters 2 lifter out of Alberta, 76-kilo weight class.
Yeah, and for those who may not know, Masters lifters are Master 1 is 40 to 50, M2 50 to 60, and so on and so forth.
Hey, the so-ons are important.
Oh, yes, yeah. But it's 10-year increments. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are you there yet?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
M3 all the way.
Okay, I thought you were still M2 like myself.
No, I wish. Oh,
she
I wonder if
may
she
have
didn't
beat the
beat that command on the press.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, all 3 referees got it.
yeah. Which is unfortunate because that was certainly there.
Yeah, and sometimes in equipped bench, it's just having the patience to get it to your chest and wait for that press. And sometimes, like I touched, and I need to press it now.
Yeah, that's right. There's a little bit of pressure there sometimes. Susan Haywood out of Manitoba,
Susan M4.
Masters 4, yeah. Susan's starting with her opener at 60 kilos.
So I'm pretty certain Susan is looking at going to Texas, the World Bench Press.
She's got a happy face on the back of her singlet, so not sure if she knows that.
She may not. Let's hope in about 30 seconds she has a happy face on the front.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Lift off.
Looks good.
Yeah. Susan's shirt looks pretty snug.
Yeah, and sometimes with the shirt, as the weight gets heavier, sometimes it becomes a little bit easier to touch.
Yeah, so that's probably like an ideal setup for her. She'd be able to, a little struggle getting a touch in her opener, which sets her up nicely for her second and third. Shauna Hammer.
Sean opened up at 72.5.
Shauna originally was from Saskatchewan. She was a 3-lift lifter out of Saskatchewan and has just recently relocated to BC.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought
Yep.
she was still lifting in Saskatchewan. But I did notice she was spending some time with some BC lifters, so I assumed that sometimes success follows success.
Yeah.
Very smooth press out.
Yeah, fast off the chest. I got to be honest, that's probably the first time I've ever seen Shauna in a bench shirt of any kind. Shauna has competed for a few years classic, so it's good to see her starting to dabble in equipped powerlifting.
And again, with the equipment, sometimes people get a second opportunity to do events. Sometimes at world events now they have, and the bench worlds being one, they have the equipped and classic together. And also junior worlds, they have the same situation, and master worlds. So the only place they don't have that yet is in the open. I don't foresee that in the future because those are premier events, and standalone are quite good.
So Chantal Such, her opener, 95 kilos, M1 out of 76.
Yes, and she's from Alberta, but born in Saskatchewan, and spends some time here.
Nice controlled bench by Chantel. Nice soft touch on the chest. Well controlled. 3 white lights. I think Chantel and I started competing at roughly the same time, 2006 or 7, somewhere around there.
Yeah, in that area for sure. Amanda
Wall out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Amanda is a very accomplished bench presser classic, and now against, I think this might be her 2nd year or so in a bench shirt. So opening at 100 kilos. Amanda always had a really good arch setup. You can see a nice high chest.
She got the wide foot stance as well that helps her with develop her base.
Yeah.
Like
nice looking
lift.
bench.
Yeah. White lights.
Kayla Livingston, open 76 kilo lifter out of Alberta. Opener at 100 kilos, 220 and a half pounds.
And I believe Kayla lifted yesterday as well, I think, in the full classic powerlifting.
You might be right, Jeff.
Yeah.
I know we spent a lot of time on the platform yesterday. It gets to be a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like a little up, down, yeah.
Yeah. That's one I think she'll be able to come back and
absolutely
straighten out. Sometimes with the bench shirt, what happens is that it comes off your chest fast and your triceps need to kick in. And sometimes you can be a little late.
Yeah.
Being prepared to catch. It's more like a catch than anything.
Right.
And sometimes that's why you see the downward movement. You don't see it often in classic. It's rare, but in the equip bench you'll see it quite often.
Absolutely. It was like you said, with how fast it can come off that chest, and if you're not ready for it, tends to catch you once in a while. So Gwen Grasdahl, Master 2 lifter out of Saskatchewan. Gwen's been doing equip lifting for a few years now.
So Gwen has been a great help here all week. She's been, I think, volunteering every session that I've been around, and so good for her to help out as well, and then come out and do her thing on the bench.
Bar's a bit unsettled on Gwen's chest there. She's looking a little uncomfortable.
Let's hope she can come back and get that.
Yeah. So in cases like that, Jeff, where you're possibly struggling trying to bring that bar down to the chest for your opener, do you ever employ or support strategy? Maybe you put a couple extra kilos on the bar to help maybe possibly smooth out that eccentric component of the press.
Sometimes that's an option in equipped especially.
Yeah.
But also too, some people will pull the shirt up under the armpits a little bit, and that gives a little bit more freedom and less restriction in the bench.
Give a little bit more breathing room on the chest plate then, right?
Exactly, yeah. It moves the chest plate up a little bit, and you're not getting the tightness from through the arms down to the elbow.
Right. So Marie Wagner for her opener, 132.5 kilos. Open female competitor, 84 plus weight class.
Yeah, and I think Maria lifted earlier in the week as well. Represented Canada several times on the international stage.
Good looking press by Maria.
Very good bench.
Marie.
That is a good lift.
Yep. 3 white lights. Natalie Hasiak is up for her second. Natalie missed her opener at 50.
Yes, I think that was the one where she beat the command, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So let's hope she can sort that out.
A technicality.
50 kilograms on the bar right now. On next Susan Hayward in the hole.
Just looking on the other side, our youth are about 6 minutes away from their start in the bench press.
3 minutes to change your opening attempts on platform 2.
Did Natalie not bench without a shirt the first one?
Yes.
So she,
yes.
I believe she's in her bench shirt this attempt. Yeah, that looks like a bench shirt.
Look very good.
That looked like, yep, properly executed lift. Natalie's in the meet.
65 kilograms to load onto the bar.
Susan Haywood's coming up for her second attempt, 65 kilos. She had a nice opener at 60, so a nice 5 kilo step.
Spotters and loaders. Bars loaded.
Bar is loaded for Susan.
All the lifts and powerlifting, the equipped bench press may be the most dangerous and most necessary spot. Our spotters wearing SBD apparel. A presenting spotter for CP. Presenting spots for CP.
Yeah, Susan's been lifting, I think, in the neighborhood of 25 years.
Oh yeah. She's also, is she not a Cat 1, Jeff?
Yes, now she is, yes.
So
So she gives back to the sport in certainly more ways even than the refereeing, but certainly organizing events in Manitoba. You see the hard touch here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good catch, spotters.
Yeah. And again, sometimes with the hard touch, that doesn't really matter unless you go out of position. I think that's
Yep.
what happened there.
I agree, Jeff.
Yeah, her elbows flared back a little bit to try a touch, and then that leaves you in a really bad position. That's where you really accentuate that up and down movement.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. The elbows really flared and maybe brought it down a little bit high on the chest plate. And
Yeah, the equipped lifting is certainly a lot more technical.
that's a nice way of saying a lot of things can go
A
wrong.
lot of things can go wrong, yes.
Shauna Hammer up for her second attempt at 77.5 kilos.
It's a nice 5 kilo jump. Very easy as well.
Nice looking bench press by Shauna. Shauna's looking pretty comfortable in that bench shirt.
Yeah, and it's not a long touch, but it's very controlled, which is really what you want to see in the bench.
Right. So Janine Garland is coming up for her second attempt. So yeah, Janine did the bar just to.
Actually, Janine was the lady that did had no shirt on the first lift.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was just a raw bar just to get in the meat.
And now she's at 85.
And 85 kilos for her second attempt. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it looked a little scary,
Ooh,
but
that left shoulder, Jeff, gave me a little pause for concern.
Yeah, she has looks like she has the bench shirt very low on the deltoid.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you see that, the athlete will flare and touch more towards their belly button than their chest. And that's where sometimes, depending on the way the shirt fits, that's the way that it works best.
Right.
Not sure my shoulders would allow me to do that, but
I can guarantee you mine would not. So Kayla Livingston is up for her second attempt at 100 kilos. She missed her opener at the same weight.
so again, she is staying with the same weight, so
yeah. Maybe she's got that shirt seated a little better this time. Looking good so far. Much better looking bench. Nice. Way to come back on get that on her second.
That is 2-1. That's a good lift.
Okay, 1 minute for platform 2 for the bench press component of the 3 lift for our youth lifters.
So I think does that put everybody in the meet now on the bench?
I believe it does, Jeff.
Bar is loaded for Chantal.
Chantel coming up for her second. Her opener was 95. She's coming in at 102.5 kilos for her second attempt. Chantel's opener certainly looked good, so
Yeah.
see where she goes
She
from
must have
here.
felt comfortable. 7.5 kilo jump is a big jump.
Nice smooth touch. Okay,
Yeah,
little
good.
stick in the middle, but
That is 2-1. That's a good lift for Chantal.
And again, she got one red light just because of her vantage point. Can't really tell, but that could have been maybe her butt come off the bench. That would seem the most logical.
yeah, just knowing Chantel's bench set up the way she turned
feet are wide
toes
with
out,
toes
her
out, yeah.
feet, it's probably not a heel lift.
Bar is loaded on
So,
platform
yeah.
2.
And I didn't see her head lift, so.
For our bench press session. First lift.
So Adaya's coming on for her opener in the bench press, 14.5 kilos. Got to use my bifocals to read that one over there.
I hear you. Looks like Adaya's good.
Good bench by Adaya.
Oh, no.
No? Oh, maybe it's command based.
That might be command, yeah. But it looked good otherwise.
Amanda's attempt. Oh, nice bench press
Very
by
nice
Amanda.
bench.
107.5, so she took a 7.5 kilo step from her opener as well, and pretty much nailed it.
Oh, and we did actually, Gwen missed her first as well. So I
Right.
think she is the only person that's not in the meet. So let's hope she can make this one. And
Kaylee Fair on platform 2 is coming up for her opening bench.
17.5 kilos.
Good looking bench by Kaylee.
See, judges through white lights.
All right, Gwen. Gwen's taking 110 kilos for her second, which was what she missed in her opener. No.
Again, it looked like either she may have thought she was on her chest, but it looked like it was held there for a little while. What I thought from this vantage point was on her chest, but maybe she just didn't touch.
Yeah.
So now they need to sort that out, figure out what's the best way to get around this. And again, you can pull the shirt up in the sleeves,
Yeah.
put more weight on. That's your options.
All right, Reese
Fowler.
Fowler. Opening bench, 33.5 kilos. I think Dad and Mom would like that attempt.
Yeah, 3 white lights. And here comes Marie, and this looks like a national record, 141.5 kilos. And 10 kilos, a little less than 10 kilos up from her opener.
And taking it on her second attempt, so she might be wanting to.
Bump that a little further, I would think, hopefully, if everything goes okay.
Okay, so we've had a readjustment on that. It's 140 kilos, so
Okay.
not a national record attempt.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would have happened there.
Yeah,
Unless maybe she put it in thinking it was a national record and they realized that it wasn't. That's the only thing I could see.
Callum's opening bench. I think he was a little bit loose on the chest there, so they held him a little bit before the press command, but he's still able to press it out without any issue.
Yeah, definitely a strong kid.
Okay, Marie. 140 kilos for her second attempt.
And if you're in a traditional gym, this is just short of 3 plates.
Good looking bench.
Very smooth bench.
And if 141.5 is a national record attempt, we may see that on her third.
I would assume.
Just got a minute and a half on platform 2 as we're just a little bit of a timing break for them. Okay. So Natalie Hasiak missed her opener at 50, came back and got it on her second, and now she is taking her third attempt at 60 kilos.
Yeah, this is a 10-kilo jump. And sometimes when you miss your opener, that can kind of lay the ground for the rest of the day, because you may have had an intention to make a 10-kilo jump on your second and then maybe another 5.
Right.
But because she missed her first, now she might just take that 10.
Good controlled
But it
descent.
looks like a good bench.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice press.
And maybe she had another 5 there.
That's probably, I think that's pretty fair, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, you got to take what's there for you on any given day. Susan Haywood is up for her third.
Susan missed this 65 on her second and going for it again.
Adaya should be, we're about 10 seconds away. No, yeah.
I don't think they have the bar loaded over there yet, so
Okay.
they're going to wait for the time to tick down, and then Adaya will be up.
Compensatory time is over. The bar will be loaded to 15 kilos for a day on platform 2.
And certainly I have seen Susan miss lifts and come back and make them.
Faster descent. Oh, no.
Yep. Yeah, it just didn't settle on her chest.
No. No. Okay, Adaya up on platform 2, 15 kilos for her second attempt. She actually went up a half a kilo from her opener, which she missed.
Yes.
Good looking press.
Let's see what the referees say this time. Yes, and looking at that, I'm thinking it must have been a command that she
Yep.
missed on the first one.
Yeah. Command or heel or some technicality. All right, Shauna's hammer coming up with her third, 80.5 kilos.
So this must be a national record.
This must be a national record.
John is in the M257.
Oh, nice press.
Still very, very good, and
Yep.
probably some room to spare.
Fantastic.
There's Kaylee. And she got 3 white, sorry, and it's a good lift. I'm looking at the rest of the red on the screen.
That's right. Okay, so Janine Garland on the platform 1, coming in at 90 kilos for her third attempt.
And Riz Fowler on platform 2 with 36 kilos.
5 kilo step for Janine from her second. And what's Reese got there? Is it a 2.5 kilos or so? Can't quite read that.
36 kilos.
Yeah. Janine will go 3 for 3 if she gets this one today. No.
Nope.
Just
And
got,
Reese was good on platform 2.
yeah,
And Janine had a little up and down.
yeah, got stuck at that transition point where the shirt kind of goes away a bit and leaves you with your triceps to press it out.
Yeah, exactly. And we have Kayla coming up on platform 1. Callum is going up to 60 kilos.
So Kayla missed her opener at 100, came back and got 100 kilos on her second, and is coming in for her third at 102.5 kilos. Callum is coming in for his second with a 5 kilo increment from 55 kilos to 60. Looks like
Callum had a fight. Let's see if the referees say it was okay. Yes, it was a great fight. Now Kayla locks out 102.5.
Yeah, should be good.
And it's a good lift.
Nice, good lifts all around.
So they'll take a little break on platform 2.
Looks like we've got 2-minute break there for platform 2. And we're setting up 108 kilos. So it must be a national record attempt for Chantel.
National record attempt in the 76 Masters 1 equipped category.
238 pounds.
I think sometimes Chantel will tell you she's not much of a bencher, but I think she's proven otherwise here.
Yeah, well, dedication to the craft, right?
Exactly, she's a very good all-around lifter.
National record attempt.
Okay. Okay, Chantal. Come on. Yeah, it's just stalled out there. Hey, yeah, just a tick. Probably 107 would have done it, Jeff.
I think so, yeah. It's just that one little sticking point. She had got that moving a centimeter more. I think she would have locked it out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, Gwen's got herself in a bit of a pickle with missing her opener. And her second at 110, I think, was the kilo count.
And looks like she's going up a little bit, and it must be a national record, I believe. So
111.5, so yeah.
And this might have been her goal, might have been a national record, and so hoping the extra little bit of weight will get it to her chest a little easier. Let's hope she can make this lift.
Yeah, it is a strategy, right? I mean, not necessarily the national record piece, but to put a little bit more weight and hopefully smooth out the descent of the bar.
Just too heavy today.
Yeah. Yep. It was looked like a much smoother descent of the bar on the eccentric side. And, yeah. Looks like it got a little off, like left side fired up a little early and kind of pushed all the weight over to her right. And
yeah, and it seemed like on all her presses, it seemed like she was leaning more to the one side. So it could be just something not sitting right in the shirt on one side.
Yep.
So now we have Adaya, 16.5 kilos.
This is her third attempt.
They're loading the bar to 113.5 kilos on one.
Let's see what the referees say.
Nice looking bench for
Three
Adaya.
white lights.
Mars looking for a new national record attempt by 9 Saskatchewan here in platform 1.
Congratulations to Adaya on setting that national record.
250-pound bench press.
So Amanda, pardon me.
Another national record here, 113.5.
That's, it's 250 pounds. That's a pretty good bench press. I mean, I appreciate it's in a shirt, but nonetheless, still got to control the weight.
Yeah, I've never seen a shirt bench weight by itself yet.
That's right.
Very nice bench.
See.
Let's see. Ooh,
Let's see. Ooh, did she touch the rack? Oh.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of things there.
Yep.
Maybe just not holding it steady. Maybe they were
Sometimes knowing Amanda from refereeing meets that Amanda's competed in, sometimes she gets a butt lift there off the chest once in a while.
Ah, okay.
So that might explain the yellow card.
Some of the yellows, yeah.
So anyway, can only guess. We can't really see that from here. So Marie's coming up for her third attempt at 150 kilos. Yeah, another good as far as weight, which is a 10 kilo step from her second.
Yeah, and she jumps 7 from her first to her second and 10 to her third.
Big steps. Reese Fowler on platform 2, 40 kilos for his third attempt. Reese pressed that out nice.
Reese, 3 white lights. See Marie.
Oh, maybe a little up down,
Yeah,
Jeff.
I think there might be some up down there. She locked it out.
She did.
Oh, she got 1 white, and
Yeah. Well,
middle judge got it for uneven, and looks like maybe butt lift up. From what we can tell from the referee's lights, but that's a guess.
yeah. Nonetheless, 2 reds. Pass. The lift didn't pass.
So we got Callum on platform 2, and he's going up 2.5 kilos.
So 62.5 kilos on his third.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little too much. His second was hard, and
well, and I think
good for him to come out and try a little more.
Head ref held him for a bit too with that bar bouncing on his chest.
Now we've moved into the men.
Jim Dirksen, and looks like Jim's lift passed 2-1.
2-1.
Not sure what the kilo count was on that though. The weight he had on the bar, I didn't see it on our screen. So Evans coming up for his opener at 115 kilos.
That's what it looks like.
253 pounds.
And we'll be having a break on platform 2.
Yeah. They should be setting that up for a couple minutes anyway.
Yeah, and once they're set up, they'll put 20 minutes on the clock.
Yep. All right, for Evan. Good looking touch. Nice press out.
That's a good lift.
3 white lights.
Mark Magnuson coming up next.
135 kilos. So Mark's a Masters 3 lifter from Saskatchewan.
Mark lifted in the Classic yesterday. One of the days.
One of the, yeah. Yeah. Friday and Saturday kind of blended.
I think Mark is looking to qualify to maybe go to a few international events as well.
135 kilo opener for Mark. We'll see where it goes.
I think Mark is relatively new to the sport, but seems to be involved and seems to know a lot about the sport.
Okay, let's see what Mark's opener looks like. Nice solid press.
Looks good.
So Mark's doesn't look like he's a big arch lifter. He's a little bit of a, I guess you'd call a flat back bench presser.
Yeah, and a little bit narrower with the bencher too as well. And most athletes you will see will take the maximum grip in bench press. Sometimes we have stronger triceps, so you elect to go a little bit narrower.
Right. So Brian Rock is up for his first attempt. 150 kilos. Brian's a Master 3 120 lifter out of BC.
And I do think Brian is also looking at trying to make the national team for the World Bench Press this year. And he's taking his opener without his shirt, it looks like.
Yep. And
Brian's a strong bencher
clearly.
anyway. He wants to do it.
Nice bench press opener by Brian. So we have Arshadi coming up for his opener.
240 kilos, just short of 530 pounds.
That's an opener.
It's a big opener.
Yeah.
120 kilo class.
Master open, or men's open, pardon me.
Yes.
This is a huge bench press attempt. 240 kilograms. That's 530 pounds, everybody.
That's not a bad squat, Jeff. 240 kilos.
It's I'll take it for an opener anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Getting the meat with a 240 squat. At any rate, Arshia's taking it for his opening bench press.
She is certainly built to be a bencher.
Some leverage advantage. So we got 4 spotters on the sides. Looks like touch. Might be a little up and down there, Jeff.
Let's see what the referee says.
No, they caught right on.
Yeah, I think that was one where it hit a wall, but it just stopped. It didn't go down at all, and then he was able to get under the weight. So we got Brian Chong here, 255 kilos. Open 105 kilo class from Alberta.
So he's got the ultra low cut bench shirt on here.
Yes, and I've seen Brian bench before, and he's usually up in this neighborhood for his openers, 250 plus.
Fantastic opening bench press. Let's see what Brian's able to do with it. And we got 4 spotters around, making sure Brian stays safe. Touching yet. Oh! And that's why we have spotters and safeties at the right height, right there.
Yeah, and again, Brian is one of those benchers that holds the shirt very low and touches more toward the belly.
Yeah.
You tend to get a big slingshot off the bottom of the lift, but you need to be able to control that.
And that comes firing right back at your face a lot of times.
Exactly. Now we have Garrett here, opening it up. If you can believe it, 885 pounds, 401.5 kilos.
So I would imagine the 401.5 is a national record attempt.
It's a national record, and I know Garrett has been upwards to the best bencher in the world the last couple of years, and I don't think 400 has been lifted in a very, very long time.
Right.
Canadian national record. Is this an unofficial?
So this would be like the Blaine Sumner world of bench pressing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
So anybody knows the Vanilla Gorilla, who's basically now, I think, retired from powerlifting in the States due to back injuries, was bench pressing somewhere in this area. All right, here we go, Garrett.
885.1 pounds. They're all out of red plates. Give them a loud round of applause for that.
This is pretty special for a regional meet.
Yeah.
This kind of an attempt.
Yeah, you only see this at a world level, and not often there either.
Right. All right, this is going to be interesting. Pretty substantial liftoff for Ryan Stinn as well. I mean, that's a lot of weight to lift off.
Yeah, and sometimes with the shirted bench, it is a little harder for the athlete to take much from the lift.
Oh, absolutely.
3, 2, 1, finish.
sure he's going to come back and try that again.
Yeah,
He's got 2 more attempts at it if he wants.
I know I helped Garrett out a little bit last year at Easterns, and he got an opener in with one shirt on, and he switched over shirts, so I'm not sure if he'll try to do something like that.
Oh.
It's limited time here today with 7 or 8 benches. You got 14 or 15, you might have time for that. I'm not sure he would here.
That is something I have never tried and never will. I have enough fun with one shirt, let alone multiple shirts in any one given meet.
I've tried it a few times, but certainly probably not to the level of the tightness that Garrett is using there.
Yeah. So Evan Wagner-Carlton's coming up for his second attempt, 122.5 kilos. He made his opener at 115.
Yeah, nice little 7.5 kilo jump.
So Evan's a 105 kilo lifter, sub-junior out of Alberta.
Yeah, and sub-junior ages 14 to 18.
See what the referees say with that. Little bobble, but yep, all good.
Yeah, once again, just kind of hit a wall, but got his elbows under and finished it up and without any downward motion. And for anyone watching, the bar has to what we call wholly lower before you call it downward motion. So one side can kind of drag behind the other, but the whole of the bar goes downward. That's when they call it.
8 minutes to change your opener's first flight, platform 2.
Mark Magnuson, Master 3 from Saskatchewan, coming in for his second attempt at 145 kilos. Made his opener at 135, so a 10 kilo step there for his second.
It's a nice little increase.
Yeah, 22 pounds.
Get fast off the chest.
Yeah,
just hit that wall and couldn't push it past there.
yeah. Got to get his triceps in sync with the rest of the shirt and come back and get it on his third.
Yes, let's hope we can get back and get that. So Brian is going 152. I think his opener is 150, and he did that without a shirt, so it looks like he's coming out again and not using the shirt. His opener was pretty easy. I can't imagine this will be much more difficult.
Master 3 lifter, 120 class from BC.
Yeah, as I suspected, fairly easy still.
Nice lift by Brian. Jim Dirksen, Master 2 lifter out of Alberta.
Now, Jim, it looks like Jim done his opener without the shirt and now putting on the shirt as well and going for 160.
Yeah, that's a 60 kilo step from his opener at 100. So, yeah, that's pretty healthy.
Yeah, not normally something you do in a classic event.
No. The ultimate game of possum, if you were.
I think as well, Jim is looking to lift at a couple international teams this year.
$160 kilos for Jim.
Nice bench press by
Looks
Jim.
good.
All right, Jim, the lift is good 2-1.
Again, I'm not sure what the center judge. Maybe it's a command.
Yeah, maybe, and I'd be lying if I said I noticed, but maybe a minor head lift, but yeah. So Archies coming in at 255 kilos for his second attempt. Opener at 240.
Yeah, so big 15 kilo jump.
Bars loaded on platform 1 for
But again, sometimes in the shirt you jump 15 and it looks much better.
Yep. He's definitely got that shirt cranked down, so. All right, here we go. Getting it, Ryan Stinn getting in place to do the handoff. Okay. Nice touch.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think he ever fully locked it out.
Agreed.
260 kilos.
Agreed.
It's one of those he may be able to come back and clean that up a little bit. That's the one good thing with the shirt that's different than the Classic. If you miss a bench in Classic, you very rarely can come back and make it again unless you just really miss something technically.
Right.
But in the shirt, you can make shirt adjustments. As I mentioned earlier, you can change shirts and certainly make it a better lift.
That's that whole technical aspect of lifting and equipment, right?
Yeah, for sure. And with the shirts, normally what you do, you bring the shoulders down a little lower, which brings the chest plate a little lower, making the chest plate smaller, in fact, then, and a little harder to touch, but sometimes a little more explosion off the chest.
For sure.
So Brian missed his opener at 255, moving up to 260. And again, he has that low touch.
Yeah, this one, if I remember, his opener really rocketed back towards the rack.
Yes, very fast.
We got our spotters in position. And that's a much better press out.
Yeah, exactly.
3 weights.
Yeah, very smooth and not much to choose in that one. It's,
Nope.
What is this weight we're looking at here?
Now we're going up to Garrett again.
Yep.
5.1 pounds or 401.5 kilos. There are chips on the bar. This is a Canadian national record. Over almost a 900-pound bench. There goes Jimmy with the chips. He shows them to the chief referee, Janet. She authorizes
There we go.
them. They get loaded on
So
the
it's just
bar.
really something special, say, at a regional meet to see a bench attempt of this quantity.
They are out of red
It's
place.
pretty special.
That is an SPD belt for our back spotter. It says 885 pounds.
Wow. The bar.
Say the lift off, and Brian Stinn's got his belt on, so.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett. I didn't notice, but assuming that Garrett's in the same shirt he came out in for his opener, but
It does look like you got to pull a little lower, though.
I agree.
So again, this is the nuance of the shirts.
Here we go. Oh, that's close, Jeff.
Yeah, I think if he had to get that moving just a shade more,
Yep.
he may have been able to finish it.
Because, yeah, that's right at lockout almost, hey?
Yeah, and that's the thing, with that much weight, it's not going to look like a regular bench press. It's going to look like it's going to be methodical, and you're basically just keeping your body under the weight and in as a perfect position as you can.
Coming up for Evan Wagner-Carlton for his third attempt at 125 kilos. Taking a modest step from 122 and a half on it from his second. So a 2.5 kilo jump for Evan.
Yeah, and Evans was a little sticky in the middle, and he pushed through it. And let's see how he does with this one. And we're about 3 minutes away from platform 2 starting up again.
And they'd be onto their deadlift.
Yes. Oh,
Looks like
Evan looks like he's not
timing
taking
out,
it there.
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming out to thank the spotters and referees. Always nice to see the younger people have some respect for the people that helped meets go round.
Absolutely. It's a community. And with the smaller flight, Evan taking the time out helps the lifters following as well.
Exactly. So, you got a fairly small flight, and if he come out and just put in a pass on that one, then that means everyone is lifting in 1 minute sooner, and people are trying to time. They're getting ready, pulling the shirts down, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, say even like, not that it wouldn't have an effect in Classic, but even more so with the additional kilos and overall body pressure that benching in a shirt puts on you.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Mark, made 135 on his first, missed for 145 on the second, and taking a second attempt at that weight.
Yeah, Mark does have a fairly narrow grip. You can see his his pinkies are inside the rings. So tricep dominated bench press. Oh, missed the command.
Yeah, he realized.
Yeah, he knew it. Yeah. Well, when you're focused on execution, sometimes you miss that subtle nuance of your commands.
Yeah, and sometimes you're trying to time it. And
so platform 2, looks like we're getting ready to start our deadlifts in about 45 seconds or so. Brian Rock is coming out for his third attempt in the bench press at 155.
Yeah, and Brian has just made a couple of modest jumps here, 150, 152.5 to 155. And again, not wearing the shirt. And again, that's a very easy bench.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah.
And the lift is good for Brian, solid like a rock.
And Gino's comments, Brian was solid like a rock on that one.
162.5 kilos for Chip Garrison.
And we're 5 seconds away from getting going on platform 2 for Adaya. So.
The boys running for Adaya. Come on.
So in the youth, you can see the deadlift with the smaller plates. We've adjusted for that by using the approved or appropriate foot block from bench press.
Looks like Adaya has incorporated her dad's style of deadlifting, and great person to emulate because Lewis has held many world records in the deadlift.
Yeah, Lewis is quite an accomplished lifter in his own right.
104 pounds.
I think Lewis Master 2 still, Jeff?
Master 2, yeah. Lewis and I think are the same age.
Young men.
Yes.
Kaylee's coming out for her opener in the deadlift, 47.5 kilos.
And a good lift for Kaylee. Reese up next, and coming up platform 1. We got our shotty.
Arshaya, yeah. And he's taking another crack at 255. Missed it on his second.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
So let's see if he can just clean it up a little bit.
70 kilos on 2 for Reese.
Reese is putting on the full 25 kilo plates on the bar, so he won't be using any of the foot blocks to adjust for the height.
That looks like 70 kilos.
Cool shades. Bar's ready for Reese. Come on, Reese.
70 kilos for Reese.
Looks easy.
Good lift.
Job, Reese. The lift
3
is
weights for
good.
Reese. See
Nice
Shaya.
touch.
Oh, and again.
Yep.
Thank you very much to our sponsors.
Started to get back towards his face, and Spotters and Motors doing a great job out there protecting the lifters.
Absolutely. Full marks to the team on the platform.
Brian Chung. Last but not least, Jared Bentley to follow.
So Brian Chung is following Arshea.
Yeah.
Gons in the head chair.
Callum is,
IPF category
what's
two.
Callum got on the bar there, Jeff?
286 in pounds, so 130 kilos.
Bar's loaded.
So again, just
A
short of
national
300
record attempt
pounds.
for Callum. Give him a round of
Nice
applause.
Attempt, we'll see.
Yeah,
Bars on the platform one for Brian Chung.
good to see a young guy lifting this much weight.
Nice.
And does it with ease.
Does. Nice conventional technique.
A national record. The lift is good. He's the best in all of Canada.
Oh, congratulations to Callum.
It's a high five from Gino.
Yep. So we got I think probably a few minute break on platform 2.
Yes.
All right. We got,
And Brian's taking his third attempt in 265 kilos.
2 minutes. The 1 minute compensatory time and then the 1 minute to lift. Right? No? How many flips?
Oh, he's going to lock. Come on. He got.
That's going to be, let's see
Let's
what the
see what
referee
they do.
say.
Because I don't know that bar came down at all. Certainly canted to the right. Yep.
Yeah. So we had one person called it, and on that right-hand side where it was closer,
Yep.
the referee was closer.
All right. Well, Brian goes 2 for 3. We're loading up the kilos for Garrett's third attempt.
Jared Bentley going to be closing off our bench press equipped session for this 2024 CP Western Big League Championships. This is his third crack at it, Gino.
He's on his way to the Arnolds next week, right? In, where is that, London? Yeah. I just came from the Arnolds in Columbus, Ohio.
So Garrett, just hearing from Gino here that Garrett's planning to go to the Arnold in London.
In London, yes, I knew that.
I'll be back.
He had applied a little while back, asking if his previous events would allow him to apply for that event, and he applied and got it, and that's chosen by the organization. It's not necessarily chosen by the CPU or anything. We can just make recommendations for lifters, based on their accomplishments. And so this is something to Garrett maybe attempting this just to see how a new shirt feels or whatever the case might be.
Yep. Certainly break in a new shirt in a hurry.
And I think that Arnold's, there is a cash prize, so he'd probably be, taking some different choices in openers and things like that.
Yep. Well, here we go. Let's go, Garrett.
No lift for Garrett, unfortunately. He'll get it at the Arnolds next week, everybody.
So what do we got here? Hopefully he didn't get hurt on that.
Yeah.
Our loaders are placing 42.5 kilos on the bar for Garrett.
All right.
Yeah, and hopefully, yes, walks away from that and no injury. So,
Yeah.
he can go to England next week and possibly win some money for himself.
High risk, well, right, Jeff? I mean,
Yes.
you're handling almost 900 pounds in a bench press. I mean, that's a high risk move.
Yes,
So-
to say the least.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's maybe a handful of people in the world that squat that much weight,
exactly.
Come on,
All right.
and probably less to deadlift it.
Agreed.
94 pounds.
So Adaya, 42.5 kilos.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that, Jen?
Looks like she just smoked her second deadlift
Yeah,
there.
looked pretty easy.
The lift is good. Here comes Kaylee.
So I think we're wrapped up on our platform 1.
Yes, and they'll probably set up for this afternoon's powerlifting session now, I would assume.
And yours truly will be doing the live stream for that again. I'm sure the listeners are enamored to hear that.
Come on, Kaylee.
Yeah, it's you know it's a whole lot of jobs that goes around on one of these events, and you can look around right now, and I could probably see about 40 people that are volunteering at this moment, and it's certainly what we need in the sport. And so if you have an opportunity and you are a lifter, or even if you're just interested in lifting or have some friends, certainly ask if you can help out in some way, shape, or form. And I know people that have become spotters and loaders at specific events. Just because they went out once and enjoyed being kind of at that level and working with athletes that are great.
And I think, Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, this Western Championship is the largest regional in Canadian history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. Yes, and again, it goes to the organization and the organizers, and people are also vying for different world positions here with this event.
Good job, Reese.
And we still have an Eastern Canadians that'll actually be running in a couple of weeks here, and that will be the final event for people looking at international teams this year. But for the most part, we probably got the selection of 80 to 85% of the team will come from the first 2 regionals in Centrals and Westerns, and then Easterns we'll have maybe another 10 or 15% that are going to the various international events.
Nice. So Reese Fowler was good with his second attempt at 77.5 kilos, and Callum is up with his second attempt. Oh, we got it was just a bar as loaded call,
and he's at 319, which will be 3 plates in a commercial gym.
Yep.
And again, doing it with ease. It seems let's see if
what are they going to do with that? Okay.
Yeah, one red light, just a little bit. Looked like he had it lifted, but it over accentuated, I guess, the shoulders back, and sometimes you can get a little bit up and down when you do that.
And if I remember, his second attempt, or his opener, Jeff, is that he got called for lockout by one of the officials.
Yes.
So I think maybe it was a little overcompensation for that.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you say, oh, gee, I got a red light on that, so I got to change something. You try to push your hips in a little harder, and you unlock your knees, or your shoulders, don't go all the way back, whatever the case might be.
So we've got a just under minute and a half about break on platform 2. So Jeff, just talking about the meets that are coming up as far as folks vying for various international competitions. So it isn't typical that you have a regional meets where you're vying for internationals. Usually that's takes place at a nationals event. Maybe just have a few comments as to why that's different this year.
Yeah, a few years back, and it's been kind of, I've been around the sport for a little over 30 years, and we've always struggled on, can we move nationals to make it a little bit better for our international competitors. And in the past few years, we decided to take a go at it, and we had an agreement, or I guess we thought that the September, late August month would have been the best time to do it, and with that, and that'll be this year's nationals will be in PEI in September, and we moved the regionals to this part of the year, which was traditionally our nationals time.
Right.
And decided we would pick the teams from that. We are looking at, is that the best option, or did it work out well, or was it an experiment? And I think you should have to compete together and on the same day, and that's who the best person wins. And so we got 3 different events, and someone lifted at Centrals this year. We do have people at this event would know what they have to beat
Right.
And so you might look at it and say it's not really fair, and people lifting in 2 weeks' time will know what everybody has lifted.
Right.
But Easterns is a much smaller event traditionally anyway. We traditionally get maybe 125 lifters at an Easterns. This year we got about 170. Last year we had some more because last year was a qualifier as well for the international event. So we had a number of international events, regionals from last year and this year, and it's kind of the best out of all those that will get to represent Canada in the various events.
It's something that the CPU is, struggled with. Over probably the last 10 to 15 years, to be honest. With the number of international events increasing in the recent years and positioning to try and give athletes the best opportunities, it's definitely something that's a work in progress.
Yeah, and for sure. And there's been options mentioned about two nationals in which they would coincide with the world events, because we have classic worlds in powerlifting and classic and equipped bench are usually in the first part of the year. So there might be something we'll look at in the future where we have two events and you'll qualify the year prior to. But again, is there a perfect answer? Probably not. And the fact we've tried the experiment now, and we've kind of made some assessments of it. And again, there's Lewis and Adaya.
Oh, there's Adaya with Lewis. So she got her third deadlift and I believe a national record.
Yes.
Are you sure you can see with those glasses on? All right.
Proud dad moment for Lewis, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
So I had the opportunity of lifting with my oldest daughter, Sydney, and Sydney was a competitor at the first Classic Cup in 2012 in Stockholm, Sweden.
Yes.
So it was, a lot of folks don't know that, but classic lifting really didn't exist prior to 2012 from a competition perspective.
Yes, exactly, and that's something what a lot of people don't realize. But the classic lifting does allow access to a lot more people, and you or I, we only lifted with equipment for years and years and years and years.
Right.
Now the equipment had evolved over the years as well, because I could tell you what I started with wasn't much better than Raw or Classic, but it certainly got better as time went on, and you start to see the lifting shoot up, and that's where you see these big benches now. People have become specialists, and you couple a really big bench with a decent squat and deadlift, and you're going to be competitive at the international level.
Yeah,
possibly win gold medal in bench in a full powerlifting event. So. There's lots of advantages, and you know what? Sometimes people say that the equipped lifting allows for people to train as they get a little bit older too as well, and I don't know if I'm a big believer in that, because I do both events, and I still find equipped takes a lot more out of you than Classic does.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, but sometimes if you do have that nagging injury, you might have a bad knee or something like that. The wraps may help you out, and maybe if shoulder injury, you can still bench with a bench shirt and stay competitive.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure. I know some folks that have older, more seasoned lifters with potential little bit of hip issues find the hip support with a squat suit beneficial. Yeah,
I know a couple of people have actually probably delayed surgery, especially even in that mid-range, let's say 55 to 65, you don't know if you should get it yet, because you probably want to do it once in your life. You're able to extend that a little bit by just lifting in a squat suit.
Good lift by Reese at 82.5 kilos.
Yeah.
Callum's getting up there now with 155 kilo attempt for his third.
Yes, 341 pounds. Almost 342.
Yeah.
One more time, we got.
I think we swapped out the head ref there too, so this is going to be a national record attempt.
This will be his third attempt at a national record. He's looking to break his own. One more time. 155. 155. Or 341.7 pounds, Canadian national record attempt.
Callum had one red light on his last one with a little bit of a,
Yep.
I think his shoulder lockout. So let's see if he can certainly clean that up as well. Looks like he got lots of strength.
Yeah, agreed.
That looked even smoother. So
Yep.
let's see what the referee
Should be a
says.
good lift.
Yeah, 3 lifts, 3 white sat lifts.
I'm just wondering, Jeff, I see it possibly even catching just on the bottom of his singlet.
Could be, yeah. Got the suit legs down a little, yeah.
Either way, congratulations to Callum on that.
All right, they're going to give out the medals.
And I think we are complete on platform 2. Thanks for joining us this morning, everybody, on the live stream. Jeff Butt, a pleasure.
Thank you, and hope to see everybody soon.
Right on. Have a good one.